And now I'd like to bring to us the gospel moment for this week. And the gospel moment is nothing more than a short few minutes that will help us and elucidate us on the teachings of Christ. A few very important minutes that serve as an irrigation and a cultivation of the deep inner fields of ourselves, so that as we learn the true essence of the teachings of Christ, a flower of love and sincerity may truly blossom within us. And for this week's gospel moment, I bring to you a passage from Mark 12:41 through 44, and it is found in item 5 of chapter 13 in the Gospel explained by the Spiritist Doctrine. And the passage reads as follows. Jesus sat down opposite the place where the offerings were put and watched the crowd putting their money into the temple treasury. Many rich people threw in large amounts. But a poor widow came and put in 2 very small copper coins, worth only a fraction of a penny. Calling his disciples to him, Jesus said, I tell you the truth, this poor widow has put more into the treasury than all the others. They all gave out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything, all she had to live on. These days, a lot of people want to perform charity. They want to engage in the act of charity. But oftentimes, they delay that action because they think they do not have enough money to do so. They'll say, I'll wait until I make more money. I'll wait until I accumulate more savings so that I can truly then help others. But the problem with this is that this is a selfish type of charity, because somebody who's seeking more money in order to help others is seeking something else first, and that is the ability to enjoy more pleasures of life, to be able to enjoy the things that they could not afford prior to earning more money, before actually giving whatever is left over to those in need. And that is a selfish charity that has zero merit in the eyes of the Divine One. And the true charity, the sincere charity, is only done when you think of others before yourself, putting others first before yourself. That isn't to say that you ought to sacrifice yourself 100% to the point where you do not even have any money saved up or in the bank account, or you do not have any food in the fridge. That is not the point, because God needs you to complete your own mission, your own life here on earth. So you must have your base necessities in order to live, in order to do what's right, in order to help others and to do charity. But the excesses that you accumulate throughout life, that you ought to give to others. And the sincere people that really truly want to engage in this type of charity have to comfort themselves with the notion that you can't help everyone. No one has enough money to help everyone. But the great thing about helping others when you don't have enough money and you're sincere about it is that that weighs much more in the divine scale than does the excess gold that the wealthy people have when they give it to others. And we do not really need money to perform charity, because money doesn't dry all the tears of the world. When we're perfectly healthy and we have all of our faculties about us, why can't we simply engage in the simplistic charity of loving one another through kind smiles, words of encouragement, helping people by soothing them, those that suffer from psychological and physical problems? We can do all of this. Something as simple as helping an old lady who's carrying heavy loads at a grocery store, opening the door for someone. It is these insignificant acts that begin to formulate this exercise of the inner Christ within you. Because the more you do this, they become this instinctive behavior, and it grows within you. And before you know it, you're not even thinking about doing something. You're actually engaging in that charity automatically, because you've found that deep Christ, that divine spark that lays dormant within each and every one of us. And that is what's so beautiful, because it is an insignificant act. And the insignificant act is all it takes to make life significant. And this is the beauty of the true charity, the charity that comes from the sincere heart. And we may all not have money to do the type of charity that a lot of us wish we could. But, like I said, we're healthy. We have our faculties about us. We work, so we earn something. We have some sort of safety net, some income. And we have our times of rest. Times that are wasted doing what sometimes? Watching television, not doing anything, playing video games. Things that could have been put to a productive measure, a productive engagement, and a productive endeavor, like charity. And that's what's so beautiful about performing the true charity, instead of the one that's simply an outward performance in order to gain the attention of others. And there's a beautiful item or passage in this same chapter, and it's item 9, and it was psychographed in 1860 in Paris, and it was brought to us by the spirit of Sister Rosalie, and it is found in page 174. And this encompasses the moral charity, not the physical material charity that so many think about, but the moral charity, the true charity. And she says the following: I want you to understand exactly what moral charity is. It is something that all of you can practice. It costs you nothing, but it is difficult to put into practice. Moral charity consists in being tolerant and understanding toward each other, attitudes that unfortunately are not in excess supply on your unevolved planet yet. Believe me, there is a great moral charity in listening, just listening to someone. With your mouth shut, when someone, perhaps not so well prepared, is speaking, or in being deaf to the mocking words of people who are used to deriding or making fun of others, or in forgiving the scornful smiles of haughty or arrogant people who often judge themselves better than they truly are. In fact, in the spiritual life, the real life, persons of this kind may be far below you. Your merit in these situations actually comes not from humbleness, but from the understanding with which you excuse the base quality of others. That is what moral charity is. When you recognize that that brother or sister who may still be engaging in acts that you don't agree with will eventually, through the law of progress, get there one day. He is going to evolve. He will become better. He will love more. He will perform these charities that you perform today. So we have to look at these individuals with love, because that's how Christ looks at us. Christ looks at the most evolved being on earth like we look at a pigeon on the street fighting another pigeon. That's how far he is from us. And that's how far sometimes some of these brothers and sisters are from us. And we have to help them and understand this. Not judging them, but helping them through love and the true charity. And to finalize, she goes on, Jesus said, we are all brothers and sisters. Always think of this before rebuffing a beggar or a sick person. So long. Please think of those who suffer and pray for them. Thank you very much.